Hello, it's Christy Cassie, Loadstone webmistress. I'm never on camera, but
So
I
that's why
decided
she's behind the camera at the moment.
that's right.
Yeah.
And I decided to introduce myself today as Loadstone's webmistress. I had the bright idea of chronicling Loadstone's journey through hardware, which I know nothing about. So I asked Sean Kirkpatrick, superstar app developer of Loadstone, to drag all his various technology that he's used throughout the years since 2004 to develop Loadstone, and he's going to tell you the whole story. Take it away, Sean!
Alright, okay, I won't tell you like the entire whole story because that might take too long, so I'll try to keep things brief and just give a little intro. But as you may or may not be able to see from the 11 different cell phones that we have here, from all the various Nokia phones through the iPhone and all the way up to the...
We'll do a little scan of the table here.
There you go.
You can see they're all spread out on my dining table, which is not the best dining table, but hey.
But hey, and
All
there's
right.
the Apple Watch at the end, which will be an upcoming project for Loadstone.
Yes, it's the newest one.
Yes.
All right.
Are we back on me now?
Yes, we are.
Alrighty. Okay, so in 2004 when Monty said, hey, we should put a GPS program on a smartphone that I had never seen before, he first sent me this little device, which is a Holix GPS receiver. So, you know, and it's a Bluetooth receiver. And it still works, as you may or may not be able to see on the video. The lights are still flashing and it would still run. And so I got that in like, February 14th of 2004.
Happy Valentine's Day!
Yeah, that's what I thought, and I was playing with it, and I was happy and testing it, and I broke it by like February 16th, 2004. So I had to buy a very expensive data cable to fix it, because it didn't come with it, of course. And so, I fixed it, and I'm like, yay, okay, we're back on track. And then Monty sent me this telephone, if you can call it that, a Nokia
What is
N-Gage,
that?
which looks like a video game phone / taco.
I'm having flashbacks to Super Mario days.
Yes.
It
It has a little joystick on the one side and a big screen in the middle and the keypad on the right. And to talk on the phone, you had to turn the taco on its edge, like so, and you put it up to your ear, which was really uncomfortable. And, but I didn't care about that because I wanted it for the computing power, not the phone.
Yo quiero Taco Bell.
So that was, back in the day, it had a whole 128 megs of RAM storage. And that was pretty cool for the cell phones of 2004. So we had the first version of Loadstone, and I could have probably shown you that on this, but its battery won't charge anymore and it won't turn on.
It's disengaged.
Yeah, pretty much. And so that was the N-Gage of 04. And then after a while, it was like, no, this is getting a bit much. So we moved up in the world to the E70, which was actually not a bad little phone. It has it's still running.
Battery 7 bars.
Yeah, it still charges and everything. And if I turn it around, you can see it had a camera back in the day.
Wow, how many pixels?
I don't. It might have had like 1.2
Half a
megapixel or
pixel.
something. Yeah, it was pretty.
Pixel dust.
Pretty small, but it had a good, it has a nice sounding speaker and it ran talks and it did everything, and it was a nicer, smaller unit for GPS work. And so that was a nice little unit for what it was. And then I will go to the next iteration, if I can find it, was the that was an N70 I just showed you. I had the wrong model. This one was the E70, and it still works too, as we can see.
Battery 7 bars.
And it still charges too, and that was from 07. And it was, we got this one new. We had some donations by then from some of the people in Germany and other parts of Europe, I believe, had donated to our project by then. So we had some money to start buying new hardware. The previous stuff had been used and from eBay and wherever it came from. So this one was a brand new phone at the time, and it had the advantage of, it flips open like so. It has a keyboard. So we could actually do some experiments with running Loadstone with more keys, and instead of just the keypad. And that wasn't a bad little phone, actually. It had some bugs. It tended to crash a lot, but it was okay. And then GPS receiver wise, it was time to upgrade the Holix, so we went to the Royaltech unit. If I can get it turned around, there. So that was this little unit here, and it is still
It's the
flashing.
lesser known royal baby birth.
You're weird. And it's still flashing, and it still works, and it was a good little solid receiver. And I used that for a good couple of years with a few different phones. But that was it lasted much longer than the Holix receiver and had better accuracy. And then we went to this phone, which was an N95. But I can't turn it on or demonstrate it because it is completely dead. And it was well, and the keyboard, like the keyboard comes up. It actually is I forget a slide phone. So the keyboard would come up like that, and the buttons were underneath. But you could close it and then use the joystick. And then it also had the music player at the top.
Woo!
And that's how I killed it. I was playing music with the phone one day, and it was out in the rain, and it didn't like that, and it kind of died. And it had gone through a lot before, as you can see from the back. The back is held on with duct tape, and yeah.
That's Sean's go-to, by the way. Duct tape. When all else fails, duct tape.
But this phone was a good little runner. It ran for about 3 or 4 years in my pocket, so it was put through some trials and tribulations. And then we... Oh, that one was ready to talk to us. This was a Nokia Navigator. It was one of the first phones we had that had a GPS chip built into it. So if you didn't have a receiver, you could actually use this one, and it was another slide type phone. The keyboard would close or open up like this way. Yeah, so if you didn't have a GPS receiver with Loadstone, you could actually use it. Thanks. That was very informative.
I guess it can't work with Wi-Fi. Back in the day.
None of these had. Oh, wait, that's not true. The E70 did have Wi-Fi.
Oh.
Of all things, yeah. In 07, that was pretty good.
It's pretty
Because
good.
very few people had Wi-Fi.
I think that's before I had... Did I have Wi-Fi?
No, you didn't.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't.
I
until
don't know
bought the
these
phone.
things. I have to ask.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so this one was one of our first ones that had the GPS in, and it had the built-in compass as well. So there was some experiments done with using the magnetic
So you
compass.
could say you knew you were headed in the right direction.
Ha 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 ha. Yes, you could. And then there was I think this, I'm having a hard time remembering all the model numbers up, but this was, I believe, an N97 Mini. Now, if this was Mini, I hate to see how big the big one was. Now, as you can maybe see from the video, it has a keyboard on it. And it was a flip type phone too. It would shut, like so.
3:50 p.m.
And there's the front of it there. And this one was unique because it was a touch phone. It has, not like our iPhones where you think, oh, that's a great interface or whatever. This was Nokia's attempt at a touch. So I could move my finger along here and it would speak
Messaging.
sometimes.
Options, key one.
But you really had to blind around on this screen and figure out what you're doing.
That's not a PC word.
But it's true. It's not a PC phone. So yeah, it was Talks and Nokia's attempt at a touch interface. And this one was never quite used. It was experimented with for Loadstone development, but it never actually made it into any kind of a production because it didn't really work out as well as anyone had hoped.
So it's a touch and go.
Yes, it was. And then we have the phone that I really liked was an N86, I believe the model was. We got this from a friend of ours who is no longer with us. It's the anniversary of her death today, actually. This was Christine's.
Dear.
Yeah.
Well, that's morbid to do this video today.
Perhaps. But, so thanks, Christine, for the phone that you sat on and broke and I got repaired. And it was another slide type of phone. And it would go up, the keyboard was at the bottom, and it could go down like so, and the music player at the top, kind of like the Navigator. And it also has a built-in GPS chip, and it was a lot more powerful, and this was a really nice phone. I used this until I went to the iPhone. So that was, that is all the Nokia phones that we have.
Then Nokia died, right?
Yes,
Like, why
Nokia-
did you change to iPhone? I mean, beyond getting modern.
Beyond the obvious, Nokia was bought up by Microsoft somewhere around 2012, or maybe a little earlier, and they killed all the support for Symbian. They would no longer sign programs. Even if you wanted a new program for Symbian development, the only way you could do it is to jailbreak the phone.
And thank goodness, because I had to read the CAPTCHAs.
Yes, back in the day, Christy was the CAPTCHA reader when we first started signing
Yeah.
for Series 3, and they had a CAPTCHA with no audio challenge.
And I'm visually impaired, but I was able to read the CAPTCHAs, but it wasn't a fun process, so good riddance.
Yeah, good riddance to that one.
Thank you.
Yes. And then we move into the iPhone era, So this one here is the iPhone 4, that we got from,
10:59 p.m.
oh, it's working, okay. So yeah, this is in an OtterBox case, and this was, well, Christy was using this phone, and we were using it to test an earlier version of Loadstone.
I get the leftovers.
Yeah, pretty much. So, that was okay, but it only runs up to iOS 7, so it no longer would run Loadstone now because that support had to be dropped pretty early on, even before the first release.
Oh,
Yeah, it
Wow.
never made it out the door.
oh dear.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we went to the 4S. This was the first phone that I actually got from Monty again. He was funding hardware back in the day, sometimes. And it still works. Or does it?
12 p.m.
Oh, there it goes. We're online. So this one actually was the one that I used for the first development of Loadstone and used it for quite a while. And that was, it only goes to iOS 9, but it still will run current versions of
This
Loadstone.
time last year? You were using it?
No, I think I had my 5S.
Ah,
But
okay.
yeah, almost though. And then we go to the 5S, which of course works.
It's mine now.
Yeah, this one is Christy's phone, so who knows what it will say when I unlock
Sorry.
it.
One new item.
There you go.
Double tap to move.
And this one was...
Nothing bad.
I used this one up to this year. Actually, up to like May of this year. So it's fairly fast, it runs Loadstone fairly well, but it's a little bit on the slow side. And then we move into the new era.
Dun, dun, dun.
15 p.m.
The iPhone SE, which is about twice as fast, if not more, than the 5S, and runs things in nice timing. And I really enjoy this one. And
He doesn't want a 6, it's too big.
Yeah, this has the 6 hardware inside it, but has the 5S casing. So I'll take that, and that's the one I use now.
But he wouldn't take the pink gold on my recommendation.
No, I don't think so. So then,
It's 3.
whoops.
July 7.
Okay, so this is the Apple Watch, and this is what I plan to. Oh, wake it up again.
It's 3:15.
That's Christy's influence. She told me to put the Minnie Mouse face on my Apple Watch.
I demanded it.
Yes, and in pink, no less.
Yes.
So at some point, not for 1.3, but probably 1.4, I want to put in Apple Watch support for Loadstone. And that will be a companion app to having the phone running on, or the app on your iPhone, and a companion app for various controls and whatever on the Apple Watch.
So, watch for it.
Yes, ha ha ha, that was very good. So that is just a brief history of all of the various hardware we've used to develop Loadstone over the years.
And
Yeah.
this video will be posted on YouTube and on our website. And as usual, we have lots of information on our website. Get in touch with us, donate, send comments, feedbacks,
Yeah,
and rate us. Please, we need testimonials.
Yeah, and review Loadstone in the App Store if you really want to. We have no reviews yet. I know no one wants to write a review on the phone.
If you need help with spelling, I'll do it. I cannot tolerate bad spelling, so please, 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 if you do a testimonial, watch your semicolons and commas.
Especially apostrophes. She's
And
really
apostrophes.
picky about that.
Oh,
Yeah,
I get mad.
yeah.
All right, have a happy Saturday from Loadstone GPS, Sean Kirkpatrick and Christy Cassie. Bye-bye.